Hello and welcome to episode number 279 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We are here for SmackDown, week 3 of August 2022, and it is the go-home show for SummerSlam. We've finally made it. SummerSlam is upon us. SummerSlam is on the horizon. And a lot of the SummerSlam stuff's going to fall into place tonight. And we've got a big contract signing, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. That's going to be made official tonight, along with a whole lot of other goodness. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We have another cold open. Pat McAfee opens the show. He just storms to the ring, grabs on, like, sorry, I didn't mean to. The show's live, right? The show's live, right? I would just take this time, 24 hours before our match at SummerSlam, to tell Chad Gable he's a little bitch. And he's a loser. He called me a loser, a failed footballer. I'm going to whoop his ass at SummerSlam. And Gable goes out like, Pat McAfee, what are you doing? Keep my name out of your mouth. I should be in Boston right now, but instead I'm here having to deal with you, and the Alpha Academy are going to have to deal with you by ourselves. They storm through the ring. Desmond sent him first. Pat McAfee starts taking the fight to him, and obviously at one point I'm going to have Pat ascend to the top and do a big swanton on the top to all of the waiting Alpha Academy boys at the ringside, and Pat sits up. He's like, "Yeah, let's go!" And then referees have to order him to go to the back. Like, not a big pull apart brawl, because I'm saving that, but just, you know, Pat getting the upper hand on the Alpha Academy with a big dive to showcase his, like, I don't want to give too much away because, like, then you lose the intrigue of going, oh, Pat McAfee's wrestling for the first time, what's he going to be like? But I want to show that he will be competent, so he can hit the big dive on everybody on the outside. We then, as Alpha Academy again escorted away, or walking to the back, Daniel Bryan's music hits, and he, like, crosses paths with them on the way down. And he goes, well, that was a chaotic start to the night. Why don't we say we keep this rolling, huh? Brock Lesnar, I know you're back there. Get your ass out here right now, and I'll prove to you that I'm no underdog. I'm gonna kick your ass. Big pop. Yes chants. Brock Lesnar's music hits. And we have another fight. Obviously, Brock storms to the ring, clotheslines Bryan, takes him down. It starts looking like Bryan is overwhelmed. He gets German suplexed 1, 2, goes for a third German, but Bryan lands on his feet. Starts kicking Brock Lesnar's legs. Yes, yes, yes. Backs the beast into the corner. Does the big yes kicks in the corner. Yes, 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 yes. Then as he backs away to the big knee, Lesnar charges at him, takes him down, starts ground pounding him. But Bryan's like, I'm not saying not blocking, but like he's using like his technical expertise to sort of like maneuver around so they don't fully land. And the two of them are just on the mat, like brawling with each other. So then the referees have to come back out because there's another fight out here. Nobody wants to wait till SummerSlam, it seems. I actually think both of these matches are on night 1 as well, so they've just got to wait 24 hours. But they're still fighting, there's fights galore. And now we get the big pull-apart brawl where, you know, most people are having to stop Brock because he's Brock Lesnar and wants Daniel Bryan. But, you know, a very, very hot opening. Pat McAfee coming straight to the ring, calling out Gable for a mild brawl, and then a big brawl here. Can you tell there's going to be a lot going on this episode of SmackDown? But then the fights cool down, and we actually get some action. Liberty title stuff is happening, because last week I sort of felt like this match got naturally set up with the whole Toxic Lounge segment. It's these two who are in the ladder match, and Kelsey, who they sort of helped last week because she took Anne-Marie's place in the qualifier just against Toxic Attraction. And this is the trio. This is a thrown together 3 women. So Toxic go over. Mandy pins Kelsey with better. I guess that's the big knee. The big Mandy Rose knee that she does. Mandy, of course, gets the pin because she's the one in the match. And over the woman who's not in the match. So that felt like the logical outcome here. 57 for Gigi, 54 for JC, 61 for Mandy, 49 for Kelsey, 71 for Shotzi, and Toni Storm leading the way for 79. Will one of these 3 women, being Shotzi, Toni, and Mandy, be the first ever Women's Liberty Champion, or will it be one of Florence, Alba Fyre, or Liv Morgan from Raw? We've got, I think, 48 hours to find out, because I think that will open up in night 2 of SummerSlam. Speaking of SummerSlam, we get a recap of Raw's main event. One man who will not be at SummerSlam, believe it or not, as it stands. Seth Rollins. And he's obviously disheveled as he speaks to Kayla. Kayla says, Seth, you know, Monday Night Raw, you had your opportunity to finally get that revenge against Roman Reigns. And you lost. So, like, how are you feeling? Like, how do you feel about SummerSlam coming up? You're not currently scheduled for the show. And obviously Seth just doesn't speak. He just turns to Kayla and gives her a look like, really? Like, you know how I feel. I felt like shit. Well, I don't mean to, like, rub salt into the wound, Seth, but, like, you've lost every opportunity. You can't be king of the ring. You lost on Raw. You can't win the Money in the Bank briefcase. So what have you got planned for SummerSlam? And then Seth sort of looks. You can finally see, like, a little faint smile. He's like, at SummerSlam, Kayla, I'm leaving as the WWE Champion. And then he walks off. What's he cooking? Backstage, we have a frantic Adam Cole. He's talking to, like, random, like, janitors and shit. Like, hey, you know, Kevin abandoned me like I fucking knew he would, that piece of shit. Anyway, I need a partner for SummerSlam. Would you want to team with me? And like, oh, I'm not even a wrestler. I'm a chef. It's like, you god damn it. And he walks past the locker room of the infamous era. And he smiles. He walks in. He's like, boys. He walks in like he's the fish in the Krusty Krab. He's like, boys, arms outstretched. And Roddy and Bobby just sort of give him a weird look. I'm like, what? He's like, boys, come on, you know. Shock the system. Throws up the UE hand sign. You know all that. You know, well, how are you going, guys? It's been a long time. And Roddy's like, yeah, it has. Like, back when you betrayed Kyle, and me and Bobby Boy to stay out of it all, because we didn't want to pick sides between you and Kyle. You know, you just sort of abandoned us and haven't really spoken to us since, so we've sort of moved on from that era of our life, you know, no pun intended. And Kyle's like, but, not even for a spot at SummerSlam, the UE back together one night only, SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And Roddy's like, nah, not interested, sorry, I've got a match to prepare for tonight. And then Roddy and Bobby leave. He's like, come on, really? Now I think I've asked everybody. Like, you're gonna make me miss the show because Kevin betrayed me? Like, this isn't fair on me. We then come to the ring for what? Well, I know the vision in my head. It's, Cole is in the locker room, and we get the close-up of his frustrated face as it fades into the ring, where we see, like, the stagehand setting up, like, presents and balloons and shit. And Cora's in the middle, sort of, like, directing everybody around, because she's hosting a celebration party for her and Bayley's Tag Team Championship victory. And that's up next after the break. Then we go to the break and we come back in, and Cora's like, ladies and gentlemen, we did it! Finally, after all this time, me and Bayley are the Tag Team Champions. And in case you're wondering what this means for SummerSlam, of course, Triple Threat Tag Team match will defend tomorrow night. In fact, 24 hours from now, me and Bayley will defend our championships for the first time in a three-way against Hikaru Shida and Utami Hayashishita and Charlotte Flair and Danny Jordan. But now's not the time to think about that. Tonight is the time for celebration. So welcome my best friend, my tag team championship partner, Bayley. Bayley's, heel music hits, and Bayley wanders out onto the stage with the belt, what is going on here? And then as Bayley's halfway down the ramp, it kicks into her Babyface theme, and she's like, what the fuck? Bayley gets in the ring, and she's like, this really wasn't necessary. Cora's like, God, I knew you would say that, but look, it is. I want to celebrate you. And then Bayley, still just straight face, just shakes her head and goes, this wasn't necessary. We've got a match to prepare for in 24 hours' time. I don't want to be messing around doing this. Cora's going, oh, come on, you were always such a buzzkill. Like, you used to be fun. Like, I brought that fun side of you out back on Monday and we won the titles. Anyway, I want to say thank you. Here's my first gift. And Bayley's like, I don't want gifts. But Cora's like, oh, come on, open it up. Open it. But it's like, fine. She opens it up. It's like a Bayley headband. Like that she used to wear on her head. It's like, see? Look. I've got a matching one too, and she puts it in her hair. And Bayley's like, I guess, thanks. And then Cora's like, well, here's a second present. Open it up, open it up, open it up, open it up. She pulls it out and it's like a uninflated tube man. Like, it is a inflatable tube man, but obviously you've got to blow it up. It's like, see, look, tube man, you used to love these things. And Bayley's like, yes, but then I grew up and became a winner. Like, this won't keep us the tag team championship. Like, you got to get your head in the game. Then Dakota's music hits. And she just comes out and just starts laughing again. She's like, just when I got over, the high comedy that was me having to defend my championship against a loser in 24 hours' time. Now these are the other women's champions on this show. Okay, give me a break. So I don't know what your issue is with me, because last week, you came out during my contract signing, picked a fight with Kairi. Cora lost that, so she's clearly not as good as she thinks she is. So allow me to repay the favour. Bayley's right, Cora. This is a waste of time. If you want to be a true champion like me, and hell, even Bayley, I guess, you have to change this mentality. You've got to grow up and become a winner. The fact that you even hosted a celebration party instead of just getting on with your business shows that you're not a true champion. And at SummerSlam, I'm going to show you what a true champion looks like when I defeat Kairi and keep a hold of the SmackDown Women's title. And Kairi comes out and she goes, why are we waiting for SummerSlam? We've already had 2 brawls tonight, let's make it a third. And Kairi and Dakota sort of get into a fight in the ring. Bayley and Cora try to pull them apart, and bang! Charlotte boots Cora from behind, takes her out, probably throws a present at her or something. And then it's 3-on-1 assault as Charlotte, Jordan, and Dakota beat up Kairi. And then Utami and Shida run out from the back to even the numbers as we go to a break. And guess what match is waiting for us from the other side of the break? Another 6-woman tag. Oh my god, a 91. A 91 rated 6-woman tag team match. The Japanese trio back at it again. Utami, Shida, and Kairi against the team of Charlotte Flair, Lady Jordan, and Dakota Kai. The finish comes when our Queen of the Seas, the Pirate Queen, the Queen's Crown winner, Kairi Sane, nails the SmackDown Women's Champion with that insane elbow and scores the 1-2-3. A big, big win. Just 24 hours. If that happens tomorrow night, we'll have a new SmackDown Women's Champion, As you do. 70 for Dakota, 66 for Jordan, 85 for Charlotte, 91 for Kairi, 77 for Shida, and an 86 for Utami. 91 rated match. This was a banger. See, I'm doing a couple more of these, set a match up in the show and then run that match that week. They're fun. Like, that just felt like a natural progression from that birthday celebration. Or not birthday, just championship celebration. Then we get, because I feel like I've done enough, I feel like the promo last week was enough build for this. So we just get a video package, probably narrated by Indy, that's why she's off screen, talking about Sasha Banks growing up as a wrestling fan. Like, obviously it's very public that she loved Eddie, but she's also a big Trish Stratus Elite fan, and now at SummerSlam in her hometown, dreams come true for the boss because she gets to face off with Trish Stratus, one of her childhood heroes, and put her down once and for all and prove that she's actually better than Trish ever was. Something like that. In-ring segment. The House of Black are in the ring, lights are down. And Asta says, SummerSlam, whilst, the whole hype, the lights and the sun and the fun is the antithesis of the House of Black. We're looking forward to that night, because on that night 3 teams that think they're better than us have the opportunity to try and become the SmackDown Tag Team Champions at our expense. Will it be DIY, Buddy Murphy and Dijakovic, or will it be Adam Cole and whoever he finds to be his friend, if he has any? But for now, our attentions are addressed to somebody else. Somebody that we thought was one of us. And we're calling him out face to face to hash out our problems. So Elias, Ezekiel, whatever you call yourself this week, come on out here. Ezekiel comes out. And he says, okay, so, you're the guy. And Black's like, excuse me? You're the guy, you're my brother's leader. You were the guy who corrupted my brother to darkness. And I was like, no, you were one of us. And Ezekiel's like, well, I don't know what you're on about, because my brother, he was one of you. I don't know where he's gone. I was hoping that you'd seen him, actually. That's why I'm actually here at SmackDown. And Alice is like, cut the bullshit. Just come home, Elias. And Zeke's like, you're not listening. I am not Elias. I'm Elias's younger brother, Ezekiel. Big pop. And Alice is like, well, if you're gonna make it be this way, Elias, then maybe Brody will just have to beat the truth out of you. We get Ezekiel versus Brody King right now. In an 80 rated match, Ezekiel scores the pin. He rolls up Brody King. He goes 2-0 in WWE. He wins his singles debut. Thanks to Adam Cole coming out. Because, you know, I imagine in my head as DIY and Buddy Murphy and Dijak come to the ring, like, as we go to the ads, we do that spot where the person's music hits and they walk out and go, oh, what's going to happen? Then we come back and they just sit there watching it at ringside. And at the end, there'd be like a kerfuffle with everybody. Cole also runs out. And then Cole super kicks Brody King and Elias picks up the win. I forgot to put a segment in here because I ran out of time, I think. But the gist of it was after the match, Ezekiel will offer a handshake out to Adam Cole. And Adam Cole will be like, fuck it, I've got no one else. And shake Ezekiel's hand. So Ezekiel is set to be the partner of Adam Cole at SummerSlam. It's very thrown together, but I didn't expect you to lose Kevin Owens, so whatever. It's fun. Anyway, we then cut to Pierce's locker room. Office, even. Corbin walks in, he's like, Pierce, I'm glad to see you finally, you know, worked things out between us. You know, for weeks you were trying to, you know, put us on end. Maybe you realised that maybe it's the business advice I gave you. Hey, did you invest in that crypto that I told you about the other day? Like, are you rich yet? Pierce's like, no, Corbin, I'm not interested in any of that. Yeah, Corbin's like, well, what else did you want to talk about? Pierce's like, I wanted to talk to you about SummerSlam. Corbin's like, you want to talk to me about SummerSlam? I'm not even defending my title at SummerSlam. What do you want to talk to me about SummerSlam for? And Pierce's like, well, exactly that, actually. You know? As the SmackDown General Manager, I want to put the best card possible for our show, and that would require the United States Championship being defended. Corbin's like, but I don't have a challenger. And Pierce is like, well, that never stopped me making you defend it those two weeks ago. I'll find someone. And Corbin's like, okay, so when are you going to tell me? And Pierce is like, never. And Corbin's like, excuse me? It's like, well, you never planned on telling me that you lost our company property back in Vegas at Money in the Bank. Let's consider this a solid. I'm not going to tell you until SummerSlam when your opponent comes out. Corbin's like, that sounds like bullshit, but hey, I'll beat someone else's ass. Nice, how's the market looking today? And then Nice pulls out his phone, like, you know, it's looking good, corpse. And then he puts his arm on his shoulder, like, that's my boy. Now we've got a date for SummerSlam, and our prices are going up. I'm rolling, baby. So yes, Corbin's defending his United States Championship at SummerSlam. But against who? Quick backstage segment. Kayla is with Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. And they're like right outside the bloodline. Oh, actually, no, she probably, I know what it is. She'd knock on the bloodline's locker room door. And then Josh, Jimmy, and Jacob would come out. And she's like, I was like hoping to get a word with Roman Reigns. And she's like, well, you know, the tribal chief ain't here yet. He's got until the main event to show up for the contract signing, but he'll be here, Kayla. Don't you worry about him, Moose. Why are you here? Why don't you talk to us? You know? How we're going to smash Keith Lee and Braun Breaker on the kickoff show tomorrow night at SummerSlam. You know, they call themselves the Limit Breakers. Well, we're the goddamn Bloodline, Oos. We the ones. And the Bloodline's night's going to kick off right before it even starts when me and Jacob smash those two idiots for what they get involved in our business. You dig, Oos? Cat's like, I guess I dig, yeah. It's like, good. Now, if you bump into Keith and Braun, you tell them that. Then they enter back into the locker room. And Kayla turns to the camera and Keith's like, well, you heard him. As we wait for Roman Reigns to get here tonight. He's going to be here to sign the contract for the WWE. And she slowly, like, stops talking as Keith Lee and Braun Breaker, like, sneak into frame. And Keith's like, shh. And Braun and Keith barricade the door up so that Jacob and Jimmy can't get out. And then Keith's like, he puts his hand over Kayla's face or something like that, covers her eyes. It's like, you didn't see anything, Kayla. And Kayla's like, I didn't see anything, Keith. And then Keith's like, atta girl, as they walk off. So, I guess there'll be no bloodline involvement in this main event contract signing. But actually, to be fair, for them not clicking, I literally was saying because I read the note about them not clicking and that put me off. But then the match still got 83, which is pretty good anyway, so it's fine. But the match Roddy was preparing for earlier on was against Carmelo Hayes, Mr. Money in the Bank. 10:31, Melo beats him, of course. He's still on a rampage. He gets an 83. That's with a chemistry negative as well. Holy shit, Melo. You sure don't miss. And Roddy gets a 70. But Melo then starts celebrating his big victory. Out comes Seth Rollins, of all people. He takes the mic and he's like, Carmelo Hayes, Mr. Money in the Bank, the future world champion. Kid, when I look at you, I see a lot of myself. I see a lot of Seth freaking Rollins in you. Even down to, winning that case and parading that case around like you're going to be the next champion. Maybe you'll cash in at WrestleMania and you'll one-up my moment. Or maybe not. Because Carmelo, you may be the future. But let's talk about the now. And the now is SummerSlam. And you, despite being Mr. Money in the Bank and being on a winning streak, are not currently booked for SummerSlam. And I was like, yeah, he's like, he hasn't got a mic, but like you can hear him off mic going, yeah, bullshit. Like, sounds like, no, I agree. I agree completely. I think you deserve that spotlight after the impressive start here on SmackDown you've had. Do you know who else isn't booked on SummerSlam? Me. So, I think it would be mutually beneficial for both of us if you were to put your Money in the Bank briefcase on the line against me at SummerSlam. And then I was like, he grabs the mic, he's like, I see what you're doing here, Seth. You're trying to step on me so you can get to Roman Reigns. See, any normal man, he'd see right through your bullshit and he'd tell you no. But I ain't no normal man. I'm the future A-champ, baby, and I don't miss. So, you want to challenge me for my briefcase at SummerSlam? I accept. But Seth, this really is your last chance. When I put you down, you're going to have to look for every excuse in the book as the tribal chief keeps his championship and you can't do a damn thing about it. But I can. So yeah, I felt like this was perfectly fine to just throw together. It will fucking slap and fucking come and all those expletives. And it gets both men on SummerSlam in a quick, like, one-day story that I think makes perfect sense. Like, Seth still wants to get to SummerSlam. He can challenge for that briefcase. He beat himself on Raw. He's going a bit mad right now, but he's got a match with Carmelo Hayes literally tomorrow night. I think that was the main event match. That's actually the next match. No, because that's a kickoff show. But Seth and Miller will open up night one because I think that'll be a fucking fire opener to SummerSlam. But speaking of SummerSlam, we know what's opening, we know what's closing. And the main event of night 2 will be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Cody comes out first, wrestling has more than one royal family, pyro goes off. Out comes the champ. Poor Heyman, no bloodline because, they're trapped in... Actually, probably during Roman's entrance, we'd get the shot of backstage of, like, the outside of the locker room door with the barricade still on it and the handle, like, going crazy as they try and get out. But they are still trapped in there. And Roman sort of looking around as he comes out like, where's my bloodline? And Cody takes the microphone. And he says, so it's come to this, Roman. You thought you'd seen the last of me. You thought when you took the coward's way out inside Madison Square Garden, just like my father. I won the match, but I didn't win the championship because of a count-out technicality. You thought that you'd seen the last of the American Nightmare. But you didn't, because I have heart, and I have fate, and I have destiny, and my destiny is to win that WWE Championship. And now here we are. SummerSlam looms. 48 hours from now, me and you are going to go at it again. Main event of the biggest party of the summer. WWE Championship on the line. The biggest match of my life. Hell, for you, it's just an any normal Sunday. Am I right? You know, you beat The Rock. You did. You beat Daniel Bryan. You beat Seth Rollins. You beat everybody. You beat Sami Zayn, Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Buddy Murphy, Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Keith Lee. Just walking into another stadium, another main event, against another challenger that you're going to smash and pin. I'm in your mind right now, Roman. That's how I see you. But this isn't just any opponent. I don't know if you've been able to tell over this last month or so. I don't go down without a fight. Hell, I don't go down at all. You're going to have to kill me to stop me from achieving my destiny, Roman. 11 months you've held that championship. I say, enough is enough. It's time for a change. And the American Nightmare's destiny is that change. Now, I put a little clause in the contract, Roman, because this being the biggest party of the summer, I don't want another count out. I don't want any of that bullshit. You're coming out here alone. You haven't got Jacob Fatu out there. You haven't got JB behind you. I like this. I like looking at you face to face, man to man, and telling you this. So how about it, Roman? SummerSlam. No Jimmy. No Jacob. I'll let you keep Paul. Bloodline. Banned from ringside. Just me and you. And nobody else. Cody signs the contract. He passes it over to Roman, who's at the top of the table, obviously. And then Roman puts his hand out to Heyman, and he's like, "Oh yes, my tribal chief," and gives him a microphone. And he goes, "I've got a lot of respect for you, Cody. I may not look like it right now, but I do. The fact that the fact of the matter is, you bet on yourself. You left WWE because you felt disrespected, and you built a legacy. You built this brand, this American Nightmare. You got your fucking ugly tattoo plastered on your body, but for the whole world to see. I can see it now, and you're wearing a suit. That's how much you bet on yourself. For you to come back. You come back at the expense of Triple H. You beat Triple H. You won King of the Ring. You bet on yourself so much, kid. But there's one thing you don't bet against. And that's me. That's the tribal chief, the head of the table, the WWE champion. The most dominant WWE champion. Not of the modern era, of all time, Cody. That's what you're dealing with here. I said it before and I'll say it again. What must Daddy feel? Daddy up there looking down at his son, blowing these opportunities. Can't feel good, Cody. Because I'm about to ruin your destiny once again. Because you were dumb enough to come back to WWE to become WWE champion. While I had the title. And I don't plan on dropping it, Cody. Not to you. Not to The Rock. Not to Seth Rollins. Not to Braun Breaker. Not to anybody who thought they could take this from me. This is family to me. This may as well be in my bloodline, Cody. Because it's never been in yours. And it never will be, Cody. Because you think you can go around backdooring with Pierce, adding clauses to this contract? That's why I get Wiseman to look over the whole thing. It's like, that's true, my tribal chief. You think I was surprised and blindsided that you want Jimmy and Jacob banned for this match at SummerSlam, Cody? Because that ain't the case. I'm always one step ahead of you. But what you don't know is you didn't read there's a clause that I got installed in that contract. And this is it, Cody. Cody Rhodes vs. Roman Reigns Part 2. And this ain't gonna be a trilogy. Because when I beat you at SummerSlam and I smash you and I pin you and I leave you laying like a fallen angel, Icarus getting too close to the sun, he's gonna get burnt. And as you sit there watching your wings melt, you ain't getting another opportunity, because much like Seth Rollins, if you lose at SummerSlam, Cody, you can never challenge me for my WWE Championship for as long as I reign as WWE Champion, Cody, and who knows how long that's gonna be. I do. It's until I feel like giving it up. Slams the mic down, signs the contract, and just gets up and walks away. And Cody he looks conflicted. On one hand, he's kind of nervous because this is it, all or nothing, all the marbles on the line in this match. But also, he's betting on himself. He knows he can do it. And as Roman goes to leave, Cody picks the mic back and goes, "Hey Roman, like you said, you thought you got one up. You thought you got one up on me. Well, it turns out I got the one up on you because I don't need any more opportunities. This is all I need. This is all I got. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you were the one who took the coward's way out on Raw in Madison Square Garden. You think I'm going to enter this match the same way I entered that match? I know what you're all about, big dog tribal chief. You fought the American Nightmare Monday Night Raw and you couldn't get the job done. And now you're facing an even more focused and determined American Nightmare because you've put my back up against the wall. And when my back's up against the wall, Roman, I've got nothing to lose. So you better watch out at SummerSlam. Listen out as Boston echoes around. And new WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Mic slam. Cody's theme starts playing, adrenaline, as Roman stands on the mic, or on the ramp, just holding the belt up, and they big tense stare down as we end the go home episode of SummerSlam. Night 2 rated show. Yes, I really liked this show. There was a lot going on. This felt like an episode of Dynamite in that regard. Like, there was no downtime. It was just all heavy from the word go. And yes, again, we managed to escape through with no injuries. So our taped together SummerSlam card on the SmackDown side is the WWE Championship. Roman Reigns defends against Cody Rhodes. Bloodline banned from ringside, but if Cody loses, he can never challenge for the title ever again. US title. Crypto Corbin defends against somebody. Pierce won't tell us. SmackDown Women's title. Kairi Sane challenges Dakota Kai. SmackDown Tag Team Championships. House of Black defending a four-way against DIY, Buddy Murphy and Dijakovic, and the thrown together team of Ezekiel and Adam Cole. The Liberty Championship, their three members are Mandy Rose, Shotzi Blackheart, Toni Storm. The Women's Tag title, we've got Utami Hayashishita and Hikaru Shida, as well as the champions Cora Jade and Bayley, and Charlotte and Jordan in that match as well. We have Carmelo Hayes versus Seth Rollins for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. Pat McAfee versus Chad Gable. Trish Stratus versus Sasha Banks. Braun Breaker and Keith Lee on the kickoff show against Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. And I believe that's it. Oh, and Ricochet will be in the Cruiserweight Championship match against Rey Mysterio. Speaking of the Cruiserweight Championship match, let's go to watch Velocity, the very last show before SummerSlam. We start off Velocity with actually a segment, which is rare for Velocity. It's RJ sitting in his office, just saying that ahead of the Sunday's Cruiserweight Championship match and the final of the Cruiserweight World Cup, tonight we're going to see both men in tag team action as Rey Mysterio teams with his son Dominic to take on Ricochet and his partner Oni Lorcan. That's the main event of tonight's Velocity, with big SummerSlam implications. Opening match is another random 6-man tag. Metalik, Joaquin, and Cruz of Legado de la Sombra defeat the trio of Zachary, Ben Shahar, Wesley, and Jimmy Wang Yang. Metalik pins Wesley with a Metalik driver. 77 for Metalik, 69 for Cruz, 64 for Joaquin, 55 for Jimmy Wang Yang, 66 for Wesley, and a 63 for Zachary Ben Shahar. That's a fine match. That's pretty good. I'll take that. You then get Crypto Corbin and Non-Fungible Niece. Crypto Corbin obviously can't wrestle on Velocity, but he's coming out and he goes, apparently I'm defending my championship at SummerSlam, you know, and I thought I'd take a look at all the small guys over here, you know, in case Pierce picks one of these guys to be my challenger. Gotta get the wet lay of the land, gotta inspect the competition, you know, and Non-Fungible Niece here is gonna kick their ass. And then Nathan Fraser is the man who comes out, and he's like, well, I doubt I'm gonna be the guy to face you at SummerSlam, Corbin, but I'll kick Niece's ass right now, sad times. And he does. They don't seem to click, but they're recognisable and unimportant, and they don't seem to click and still get a 70. So, like, okay, whatever. Nathan Fraser beats Niece in 10:27. 69 for Niece, 50 for Nathan. And again, yeah, despite not being able to click, that's a very good rating. Speaking of very good ratings, Rey Mysterio and Dominic pick up the win over Ricochet and Oni Lorcan. Rey pins, it says Ricochet, just pretend it's Oni, with a 619, as the legendary Luchador gets the momentum heading into the Cruiserweight Championship match at SummerSlam. But of course, Ricochet and Rey shake hands after the match anyway, because they're respectful. And Rey and Oni also, or Dominic and Oni also shake hands, and then swap over everyone to shake each other's hands, because it's some wholesome babyface love. An 88 episode of Velocity, let's go. But we're done. Next time you're gonna be hearing my lovely voice will be SummerSlam Night 1, the first of the 2-part Season 5 finale. Then you know what time it is after SummerSlam. Actually, I probably will upload State of the Universe before Summer... No, because it will have the SummerSlam results in it. But yes, I want to get the goal setting done as quickly as I can, so I don't have to wait too long to boot up Season 6. But yes, there's also some interesting changes coming to Season 6 that I know about, that I will announce at some point. It's nothing major, but just some little things I want to do. See you then.